Hi everybody, my name is Julie. I'm writer and director of the romantic comedy Geek Loves Punk, and I got the question from one of my relatives. What do I do when I'm depressed or sad? Okay, first thing I gotta tell you is I am just a writer and director of an independent, nerdy romantic comedy called Geek Loves Punk. I'm not like a clinical, I'm not a psychologist, therapist, any of that stuff. So I can definitely answer this question for sure, but all I'm saying, I'll give you advice on what you can do when you're feeling sad or depressed. I can't give out advice on like clinical depression because I'm not like a doctor, but I will totally answer this question for sure as far as what I do. And yeah, okay, but also you'll see at the end for sure if you think you might need professional help like a therapist, or if you need to call a hotline like a suicide hotline, please do that right now for sure. Yeah, so I get what my relative was asking me. My relative is healthy, awesome, amazing person, but due to the global pandemic and just life in general, this relative is just feeling a little sad right now. And so, yes, I got the question, what do I do when I feel depressed or sad? I'm going to answer that question and give you some advice for when you're feeling sad and depressed. This is not clinical advice, this is just YouTube advice. Okay, all right. Let's go. Okay, what you should do. So I've been meaning to do this, and I haven't done this yet. But what I say is, when you're feeling sad and depressed, preemptively, like right now, create something I like to call a depression or sadness emergency toolkit. And to me, what that is you get like a folder that's pretty. This one's like gold, and it looks like flowers and leaves and stuff. And then what I want to do is take like really colorful paper, because I like paper. So this is super colorful paper. It's pink. It's pink. And then take like super colorful markers. So many markers. Okay. And I just want to bullet point the stuff I can do that makes me feel better. And that way, when I'm feeling sad, when my sadness gets triggered, I can just go to my folder and look at my list of stuff that makes me feel better, and remind myself that, I'm going to be okay. So I would say create a depression emergency toolkit or sadness to kind of let yourself know, hey, when I feel sad, here's the logistical actionable things I'm going to do. Okay. So this is just a list of stuff. Like this one is listen to music. So nothing like music. And whatever your favorite stuff is. And for me, listening to music. Sometimes I might listen to the Spice Girls because I'm a '90s kid. Other times I might listen to Radiohead, '90s kids. I'm a '90s kid. Sometimes I'll listen to like old school K-pop, like Girls' Generation or 21 or what was the other one? Kara. Old school K-pop, that makes me feel good because it's so upbeat. Other times I'll just listen to Hamilton. I've been listening to a lot of that. But just listening to music for me does make me feel better. The other thing I want to say is work on some sort of creative project where you can like cathartically get those emotions out of your system. I'm an independent filmmaker, so I've been through COVID-19, this pandemic, shelter-in-place stuff. I've been writing a new screenplay. So when I'm feeling frustrated, I just magically write comedies. So even when I'm feeling sad or whatever, I've been writing the screenplay, and then the jokes are just coming. So I've been writing, interesting enough, as I've been dealing with sadness, I've been writing a comedic screenplay that does just make me feel better just writing it. But having a go-to creative project, and this screenplay that I'm writing, it's my go-to creative project for when I'm feeling sad right now during COVID-19, and I know that's where I need to go when I'm feeling sad because it does make me feel better. So start some sort of creative project. That could be like starting a new puzzle. A couple of my friends really like puzzles, so that could be the new creative thing you do. But having a go-to thing to do when you do a go-to creative project, that can really help you. Number 3, I would say, is like, sit in your sadness. So just understand, okay, I'm feeling sad right now. And for those of us who are like highly sensitive people or empaths, when we feel sad, we feel sad. It feels so sad, and it's painful. You know what I mean? But I know, sit in the sadness in the sense that, you know, you don't want to force it. You don't want to force the sadness to change, because it kind of doesn't work that way. So sitting in the sadness is just like, okay, this is what I'm feeling right now. It's very painful on an emotional level. But, you know, in a couple of hours, it's an emotion. I don't want to downplay it, but it's just an emotion. Like, you know, this is what I'm feeling right now, and that's okay. And in a couple of hours, or maybe tomorrow, I'll feel better. And I know that's true for me. I know sometimes when I'm feeling sad, I know, hey, 7 to 8 hours of solid sleep, that's gonna make me feel better. I know it is, and I'll be like, Julie, you'll feel better in the morning, because sleep just makes your brain feel good. So, and then if you're having trouble sleeping, there's tons of books on sleep science on how to in a very natural way get your sleep schedule back. Yeah. So sit in your sadness and know that it will pass. For me, it always passes. It always turns into something else. Happiness, joy, you know, a new activity, a good night's sleep, that kind of thing. The other thing I would say is, my other tip is call a friend and jibber jabber. So here's the deal. You can call a friend and talk about all your problems, and that's totally fine. I'm totally cool with you doing that. But you could also just call a friend and jibber jabber about Wonder Woman. Or jibber jabber about the Oakland A's, or just you know, jibber jabber about how you can go like this with your thumbs. Like just jibber jabber. Just call a friend and jibber jabber about something, and that's just gonna make you feel better. And I need to make a video on how to make friends. Not trying to be funny, but I moved from Richmond, Virginia to San Francisco, California, and I didn't know anybody. I had no friends, so I had to make friends. So I've been meaning to make that video, but call a friend and jibber jabber about something, because it just helps. Sometimes it just helps to jibber jabber about something that just sort of doesn't matter. Wonder Woman matters, because I love Wonder Woman. We all love Wonder Woman. But, you know, just jibber jabbering about something that's not super heavy, sometimes that just helps. Okay, my next tip is read your favorite stuff. Read your favorite books, or read your favorite comic books, or even for me, I would say this too. If you have a favorite poem, one of my favorite authors is Shel Silverstein, and so sometimes if you can do this, stand up straight. Like, this is sort of an acting exercise, because since I act in my movie and I've taken acting classes. So stand up straight and like get good posture, and then read your favorite book out loud. You only have to do this for a minute or two and say it with confidence. Sometimes that will invoke confidence, and now you're feeling confident instead of feeling sad. That might sound silly, but it's actually, if you're an aspiring actor, it's a great acting exercise, because you're practicing how to invoke the emotions when you need them, whether that's confidence or happiness or sadness. So I would say read stuff that makes you feel good out loud, because that can work for me. So since I'm religious, spiritual, my life's going great, but I still have some goals I want to achieve in my life. So one of the things I have here on my little cork board, I have God's Got Better For You. And I really like that. So I have faith that my dreams are going to come true. So saying that out loud feels good. One of the other things I have is courage calls to courage everywhere. And that just saying it makes me feel courageous. So it's just cool. It's almost like a self-fulfilled prophecy. Saying the word courage makes me feel courageous. But yeah, just saying stuff out loud in a confident way can just make yourself feel better if you're able to do that. Yeah, so read stuff out loud. And then also just engage with the stuff you like. Watch your favorite movies that make the movies you. And so with the Depression Emergency Toolkit, or Sadness Emergency Toolkit, have a list of the movies you need to listen to that really help you when you're feeling sad. You know, like for me, like a Pixar movie, or the 90s Disney movies. Like those are my go-to movies when I'm feeling sad. Sometimes I'll listen to B.B. King. There's specific songs that I know will make me feel better when I'm feeling sad. So the emergency, like the Depression Emergency Toolkit, you're going to bullet point the movies, the songs, the stuff that really seems to help you when you're specifically feeling depressed or sad. Because, you know, yeah. So that's why you just have that, just when you're feeling depressed or sad, turn to that thing that you made with all the stuff that can make you feel better, and that way you just have a game plan. And I know exercising can help, drinking lots of water, water's oxygen, oxygen makes your brain happy, little stuff like that, 8 hours of sleep, all that stuff can make you feel better when you're feeling sad or depressed. Okay, and finally, my last tip, if you're feeling sad or depressed, is like, find counseling or therapy, or a support group, like a Zoom support group if you can. I've done support groups, mainly LGBTQ support groups, but they're great. All you really do is you just jibber jabber, you just talk. That's all you do. You just blab blab blab. But it's good and it helps, and it's just different support groups are specific to whatever your thing is. So I've mainly gone to LGBTQ support groups. And the other thing, I get that with therapy and counseling, I know it's sort of intimidating or it's scary, but also what I hear, and I know this was my thing for a long time too, is I don't know if I can like afford it. And to be honest with you, because I lost my job, I don't think I might have health insurance. I need to check on that. So I need to apply to Covered California, which is super easy. But I lost my job, which means I lost my health insurance, which means I need to apply to Covered California, and which is easy to do. Like California makes it super easy where I live to do stuff like that. So I need to do all that. So yes, I think the thing about counseling and therapy, and I totally get it when like I consider myself a regular person, whatever that is. But when sort of my more upper middle class friends or acquaintances are like, yeah, just find a therapist, la la la. And, you know, I was talking to one of my relatives and we were like, isn't that like $200 an hour? It's like, that's kind of like, not kind of, that's a lot of money. So I don't have enough information I don't have enough information on how to do that. But what I would say is where there's a will, there's a way. So for sure, I live in Oakland. I live in California. California, in my opinion, is like a bleeding heart. So I'm sure there's affordable ways I could get a counselor or a therapist. And I want to say with counseling and therapy, it's kind of like dating, not literally. Don't date your don't date your therapist. Oh my gosh, don't do that. But what I mean by saying it's kind of like dating, you know, you kind of have to see, you have to date your, oh my gosh, okay, let me try this again. Okay. What I mean is you might have a session with a therapist and you guys just might not click, and that person's just not the right fit for you, and that's totally okay. So, you know, you might have to shop around, so to speak. I think a lot of therapists, counselors will give a free 1 hour session, I think, where you can try it out and before you start paying money, that kind of thing. I think your insurance covers counseling. Holy crap, dude, I don't know. But where there's a will, there's a way. So I think it's more affordable than we might realize, right? So, and then all you do with a therapist or a counselor, you just jibber jabber. You just jibber jabber. Okay. And you might jibber jabber about more serious problems that you're having, like feeling sad over COVID-19. That's valid. Or feeling sad over, you know, growing up in an abusive home. Anything, like I grew up in an abusive home. So that's usually what I'm feeling sad about. And what I want to say is I forgive my relatives. I forgive all the stuff. I'm at a peaceful place. But it was actually my roommate who was saying, like, you know, your past doesn't have to shape you as far as today, or it doesn't have to determine what your future's like or what your present is like. But for sure, your past affects you. It just does. And I'm really, really, really at peace with who I am, with my life, even though I have goals I want to achieve. But Yeah. Yeah. So, but I think maybe I'll go to counseling. I don't want to. Oh, I'm gonna edit that out. Okay, no. But for sure, like, here's what I'm gonna say is a positive story about when I had a counselor. I was in college. So at college, Virginia Commonwealth University, through our college program, there was a counselor's office for college students. So I went to counseling, and I was feeling super sad about my family. And at that point, I didn't quite comprehend how effed up my family actually was. Like, I had no idea, because my family's effed up. Okay, so, but I love my family, but holy crap. Okay, so, but at that point, I was in college. I was like 19, 20, 21 years old. I was feeling really sad, and I just hadn't quite comprehended why I was feeling sad. Anyway, but still, I went to, at this point, I was feeling sad because I had a relative who was being mean to me, to sum it up. But I thought, because this person was my relative, that I had to keep spending time and hanging out with this person. So I went to counseling, and my counselor was this really friendly African American dude, and he was bald, and he had this really cool scar on his head. It was really cool, and he had like glasses, and he was just a really cool looking dude. And then he had the Bishop action figure from the X-Men, from that cartoon. It was really cool. He had it on his computer, and I have a very vivid imagination, so I was like, what if this guy's Bishop from the X-Men, who's come from the future to counsel college students? I was like, what if my counselor's Bishop from the X-Men? Okay, so anyway, it was just really cool. He had this really cool action figure. I took it as a good sign, and I was just telling him a little bit about my family, and la la la. And I learned a lot from him. Like, he was saying, like, in life in general, you have to set boundaries, and sometimes setting those boundaries can be hurtful to other people. And he said, you're never gonna enjoy hurting other people, because he's like, that would be sadism. That's called being sadistic. And he's like, humans aren't meant to be sadistic. We're not meant to enjoy hurting other humans. So he said, setting boundaries where it might hurt someone else, he said, that's never gonna feel good. But he was like, you're going, for your own mental health, for your own happiness, you're gonna have to set boundaries with a certain relative who was being mean. And I was like, whoa. Anyway, so that really helped me out a lot, because I loved my relative with all my heart, like nothing but love, but it was just painful to be in a relation, like a family relationship with this person. So yeah, I just set boundaries, and that was a great lesson I learned from my counselor in college. So that would be an experience of like a really good counselor. So what I want to say is, like, if you go to a counselor or therapy, and like I said, where there's a will, there's a way, I think, like, and as far as if you want to go to therapy, counseling, that kind of thing, you should do it. If it seems scary, it's not. You're just gonna jibber jabber for an hour with the right therapist and the right counselor. No matter what you're saying, they're gonna empathize. So if you're saying, oh, I had a donut today and I burnt it, your therapist is going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Or if you're like, I had a bagel and I burnt it, your therapist is going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry you burnt that bagel. No matter what you're jibber jabbering about, the counselor is going to empathize. You're paying for empathy. They went to school forever to be a therapist, but yeah, you're kind of paying for someone to empathize with you for an hour. So, but it's a very, but therapists are awesome, and they're amazing, and they go to school forever. So just understand, like, if you go to a counselor or therapist and it doesn't go well, it just means that maybe that's not the right therapist for you. So you just want to find one that's a really good fit. That's how it's like dating. Don't date your therapist. Okay, so those are the things I do when I'm feeling sad or when I'm feeling depressed. And like for the most part, those things work. But keep in mind, I am a filmmaker on the internet. That is not medical advice. That's just like YouTube advice for sure. So I'll put like some sort of link if you're looking for like therapy type of thing, like do that. But the other steps I told you, those things like totally work. You know what I mean? Oh, and don't hang out with mean people. Like, who you surround yourself with is so important. So I made a video about a book on narcissism that completely changed my life, saved me so much pain, and I'll link to that video. Anyway, so keep kind, loving, caring people in your life who speak your love language. Because the mean people, they're not good for your mental health. They're just not. So for sure, look for the good people in the world. They're there. There's so many good people in the world. Look for the good ones. Keep those people in your life. Set boundaries with the mean people. Okay, and so everything I just said in this really long video, an awesome video, those are all the things I do when I'm feeling sad or depressed. That was a great question, relative. Thanks for asking that question. And be kind to yourselves. Be good to yourselves. Say good things to yourself for sure. Because life's hard enough. There's so much negativity in the world. Be your own best friend and be good to yourself. Alright, I'm Julie Kerr, writer and director of the romantic comedy Geek Loves Punk. Thanks so much. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey everybody, did you super love this video? Thanks so much for watching. Like it, subscribe it, ring that bell, and leave me a comment or question, and I'll totally answer any questions or comment back. You're super awesome. Do you like super awesome romantic comedies that are independent and nerdy? Then I've got the movie for you. Written and directed by yours truly, Julie Kerr. That's me. This movie is called Geek Loves Punk, and it's super funny and super thoughtful, and it's exclusively available on my website, www.juliekerrstudios.com. Link right here. Okay, so if you go mosey on over to my website, it's a super fun, awesome website. That's where you can watch the movie, and you keep the movie forever. You can stream it and download it. Also, if you go head on over to my website, you can join my email list where you will get discounts to my movie and other products that I have. And also, if you join my email list, you'll immediately get access to my 5 daily strategies on how to cultivate more love, joy, and kindness into your life every day. Alrighty, so you have the best day ever. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Julie Kerr. I'll talk to you guys later.